Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast halftime report. As of right now, the New Orleans Saints are tied with the Chicago Bears by a score of 14-14. This game is I hate to say it, Who That Nation, but this isn't a surprise in my opinion. We all know that when it comes down to Dennis Allen led New Orleans Saints team, nothing is always what it seems. You would think that, the New Orleans Saints and the way they've been playing offensively combined with them as a defensive team, you would think that they would actually be able to keep the Chicago Bears, a team that has struggled to really find anything offensively. You would think that they would be able to neutralize these guys. But, Who That Nation, I know a lot of people may get upset, and a lot of people just think that I'd be doing this stuff just for shock value. But the reality is, this is your New Orleans Saints under Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen is not a good head coach. It's just that simple. Like when you give the New Orleans Saints an opportunity to maybe take an extra day to be able to strategize when everybody is at the New Orleans Saints neck, when as far as the organization, they will come up with a game plan. This is a reactionary coaching staff that only really put their best foot forward when their back is against the wall or when everybody says that they suck. And this is what we're going to get. And I also hear people talking about the Saints playing down to their competition, playing down to their competition. I don't know if y'all realize this or not, but when the New Orleans Saints come to town and take on the opposing teams, the opposing team has the same type of mind frame when it comes to the Saints. See, we're looking at the Saints as being one of the top teams in the league, but in reality, they're not. They're not one of the top teams in the league, and we're acting as if they are, but they're not. And I don't feel bad about saying this because good teams, when they're going up against teams like the Chicago Bears, who are struggling to find identity, who are struggling to try to find any type of success offensively or defensively, top teams knock these type of teams off. They don't give them an opportunity to get any type of hope whatsoever. But the New Orleans Saints, time after time again, allow teams like this to stay in games, get hope, and then all of a sudden, they end up having to fight, scratch, and claw all the way to the end. And I think this is one of those games. I still feel like the Saints are going to win this football game. I still feel like some of the things that I've seen in this game offensively are really good, which is the reason why I'm picking the New Orleans Saints to win this. But the Saints aren't that good. I mean, it's just that simple, folks. They're not that good. Like they can win some games. They're not the worst team in the league. But I think the teams where we'll start talking about when we're saying like, oh man, we should be beating them. People have the same opinion about the New Orleans Saints. And I'm looking at this defense. This defense looks out of sync. It's funny to me how this team just continues like to be in balance. So if the defense was playing lights out and stellar, then the offense would they wouldn't be able to do anything. And now the offense is able to move the ball up the field and find success. The defense can't stop anybody. Like it's hilarious. And you have to look at the coaching. You have to look at the coaching. Dennis Allen, who decides to accept the penalty to push the Chicago Bears back in the red zone from a 4th and 2 to a 3rd and 13, and Tyson Bagent ends up getting a first down. Now that's one of those situations where because Tyson Bagent was able to convert that play, it made Dennis Allen look like a complete moron. But it was most of the defense not being able to stop him. I said this at the beginning on the pregame show. People thought I was joking. I said Tyson Bagent is pretty doggone good. And I knew that more than likely the Saints were going to try to look at him as a pocket passer. When I knew like if the opportunity presents itself, he is going to run. And the New Orleans Saints continue to play man coverage. They continue to leave the field wide open. And it's just amazing to me, man, how this team just completely is unprepared when nobody is really holding their foot to the fire. When nobody is saying anything negative about the team or they feel like they got some success and they quiet down the fan base, then they just revert right back to the same issues that have been bothering us as fans and as onlookers since the beginning of the season. I don't see any end in sight. So this particular situation, once again, I still feel like the Saints will win this football game. But as long as you have Dennis Allen as your head coach, as long as you have this coaching staff around, you're never going to feel at ease when you're talking about your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. And quite frankly, it's just downright pathetic, man. I mean, it is downright pathetic to watch Tyson Bagent, who was struggling last week, and he's supposed to be going up against one of the top teams in all of football defensively. And this guy's looking like the second coming of Joe Montana. Once again, an unprepared New Orleans Saints team in the first half continues to allow teams that have no business whatsoever being in the same realm with them, but they continue to keep teams like this around. And now, because they constantly do this, I'm wondering to myself, the teams that we all roll our eyes at, once again, are the Saints not one of those teams? That's just my question. But when you look at the stats, I must say, Derek Carr is playing really well in this game. He's 15 of 19, 137 yards and 2 touchdowns. Taysom Hill, to me, is the star of this game, catching the ball, running the football. I mean, he's doing everything. He has 5 carries for 22 yards. Alvin Kamara, 4 carries for 7 yards with a 1.8 average. The offensive line continues to struggle when it comes to the run blocking, which wasn't a surprise to me. And I said this also at the pregame, that if the Saints are going to win this game, they're going to have to throw it, because the Chicago Bears defensive line averages running backs average under nearly 4 yards a clip, almost close to like under 3 yards a clip. I want to say last week versus the Chargers with Austin Eckler, I think he didn't even eclipse 3 yards a carry. So this team is a really good run defense team. Like they have a bunch of guys that you probably don't know of as far as them being household names, but they're able to stop the run. If the Saints are going to win this football game, they're going to have to throw the football. And luckily for them, Derek Carr seems like he's in a rhythm, and it seems like, they figured out their red zone woes by incorporating Taysom Hill in the red zone in certain situations. I mentioned Chris Olave. I said I feel like this is going to be a Chris Olave bounce back game, and he's been playing well. And I just feel like they may need to get away from some of those sideline passes. Maybe have him like kind of work the inside because it just seems like to me, like when it comes to that 50-50 ball, I mean, it just never successful. It's just never successful. But you got Alvin Kamara leading the team in receptions, 4 catches for 44 yards. Chris Olave, 3 catches for 33 yards. 1 catch for Foster Moreau for 23. Juwan Johnson, 2 catches for 15. No Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas hasn't recorded a catch, nor I don't even think anything has been thrown his way. So maybe that has something to do with the fact that he was injured. Well, not injured, dealing with a sickness throughout the week. So maybe the Saints are kind of, shying away from him. But I expect for him to make a little bit of noise in the second half. If the Saints win this football game, it's going to have to be on the arm of Derek Carr. Like I would be shocked if they come out here and be running the football and they find success running the football and that helps them win. They're going to have to, number one, defensively, they're going to have to put a spy on Tyson Bagent and allow him to make the throws, right? Even if you have to go and do something that you normally don't do, which is blitz, you're going to have to get this dude off his spot because he has all day to throw the football. And now he has confidence. Now he's feeling like the defense of the New Orleans Saints can't do anything with him. So you're going to have to find some exotic ways to get him off his spot. That's the only way I can see you win this football game. But all in all, I expect for the Saints to, like I said, get this victory, and looking forward to being able to talk to you all later on. We will be going live on Bleacher Report this afternoon, immediately following the game. What I'm doing is I'm putting the link down in the comments for the Bleacher Report live stream. And be sure to come on over. And we're going to be talking about this game, win, lose, or draw. Everybody enjoy the second half. The New Orleans Saints still got plenty of time to get to 5-4. Till next time, all I got to say is